Good morning, Jane Miller here. Good to see you at Find Your Encore Adventure. So I'm glad you downloaded the free report. And so what you have is the map, which I'm showing on the screen now. And also you have the guide that you'll follow along and where you can answer your questions as we begin to find and launch your Encore adventure, because we're on the path to earn more, work less, and celebrate often. Now, you may have already also downloaded our business segment, the Encore Business Venture. So really, we follow along with some similar items here, but in Find Your Encore Adventure, perhaps you're not really sure at this point. Do you want to create a little extra money for yourself? Do you want a second career? Are you looking for another job? Do you want a business? Do you just want to travel? Do you want to volunteer? Do you want to spend more time with the grandkids, et cetera, et cetera? The most important point in your next chapter is to plan. There are so many reports, so many books and studies that tell us and prove that if we don't plan for our second or our next chapter, it could be your second or third perhaps, that's where we can run into trouble, not only physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. So we're going to go around the wheel here, or the circle, and we're going to start with the all-important lifestyle that we see in green. So lifestyle, we want to ask ourselves, what do you want this encore, this next chapter, to provide? What do you want your life, your lifestyle to look like, when you have it all set up? So think about things like, do you want to just eliminate stress and pressure from your life that maybe, you had a W-2 or you had some sort of very large business or something that caused all that, and you just want to leave that behind? Do you want to enjoy financial abundance and freedom? And really that could go a couple ways. We could add some cash machines to our lifestyle to add more income. We could also pare down things to create a financial picture that is a little less stressful for you and free. What about spiritual freedom? I know when I was working in the corporate world, I really had to take time to work on my spirituality, and whether that was religion or meditation, etc. Do you, in your lifestyle, want to have a friend and family focus? Is it now time when you're finally able to say, I'm done with all that, now I'm going to focus on my friends and my family? Do you want to be in a place where you can mentor others? Also, how will you interact with people in this encore, in this next chapter? Conversations can be fun, and building new relationships are so important. I like to work with fun folks, and I'll skip to the end here of the sheet, right? So on page 4, people I like to work with: dream big, get stuff done, and know how to have fun. So that's something you can add into your lifestyle. No more like, you have to work with this certain group because that's who, the bosses or the managers hired in. How do you want to make a difference in your lifestyle? Do you want to give more money to charities? Do you want to give time, expertise? You want to share your gifts and talents? Do you want to spend more time? Just spend more time helping others. And how do you want to celebrate? I always talk about earn more, work less, and celebrate often. So what does your celebration look like in your encore adventure? Is it more travel? Is it more time again with family and friends? Are there things that you want to purchase? You said, when I'm at this level, I'm finally going to buy that X, whatever it is. And also experience. What experience do you want to include in this Encore adventure? Is it just walking? Is it walking on a certain beach? Is it throwing that big fall festival party that you've always wanted to do? And so on. So lifestyle. Let's again think about and take time to journal and meditate on and simply create, what do you want your lifestyle to look like in this Encore adventure? So again, your Encore chapter, this new adventure, you know, just like when we were talking about the business venture in your Encore, this Encore chapter is just as vibrant and important, even if you're not needing to or wanting to start some sort of a business. So we want to include in it, though, your passions, your experience, things that you're interested in, things that you need, things that you love. I always love to read the Pampered Chef, this is funny, catalog, and the beautiful recipe books that come along with all those cool gadgets. So in my Encore, I'm going to dig all that out and start using that. So how about then creating a toolkit? Create a toolkit of things that will help you not only find but solve problems for yourself and for others. Now we're going to go through the work, the play, the love, the spiritual, the financial, and the mentorship here. And when we look at these categories, what we want to do is start to think about them as tanks, gas tanks. So which are low and which are full? So before embarking on this whole journey, create an assessment of these 6 items and how filled you want them. So let's start with work. So your work. So this is the stuff that you do, whether you get paid for it or not. It can be that part-time job. Maybe you've decided to stay on with your current company in a different role, or you may have been able to convince management to scale down your hours. But what is your work going to look like? So, and work is also not just what you get paid for, right? Talk about, now you have time in your home. Maybe it's home maintenance, your outdoor, your yard work that you've always loved to do, volunteer work, caring for grandkids or even parents. These all can fall under the category of work. If you're trying on some new work, some part-time or cash machine that I call, date it. Date your work. Try on a few until you find the one. Now, what do I mean by a cash machine? So this is something where you can easily make a couple dollars doing something that you really like and adding a little, cushion to that financial. You could dog walk. You could handyman. You could edit for people. You could mentor. You can shop for others. You can start a little cleaning business. I have a whole list of cash machine ideas. There's like 100 or more on there. And if you'd like that, just give me an email at jane@findyourencore.com and put cash machine in the subject line, or just jot down, please send me that cash machine list. Very interesting things on there that I think you'll be surprised. Oh, I just thought of something. One of my friends took in laundry for people. She had a housekeeper come, but she did people's laundry. She liked to do that, and especially the little children's stuff. She always told me she loved folding the little children's clothing. All righty. So just as we did in our business venture, so do some market research, whether for your cash machine or just some of this work. So what are the biggest pains and challenges and dreams and desires that really get to you? One of mine was, I always was saddened when I saw folks not living up to their potential and not getting to their dreams. Of course, thus this program with findyourencore.com. What are fears? Maybe they're irrational fears that people have, and what are their fantasies? You know, if you're surfing the web or just reading tabloids or whatever, what are people talking about? What do they need from you? You know, and if we don't reach out, if we don't use our talents and our gifts, if we're holding back, that's not the way we want to be. We want our lifestyle to be beautiful and wonderful, and you can do this. Conduct surveys. Ask people, so what are you working on? What's stopping you? How's it going? How can I help? Can I find someone to help you? So that's market research that you can do in your Encore adventure. Number 3, let's see how full the tank is here. Play. So I have a little app on my phone that every day at, I think it's 4:30, I get a little reminder that says exercise or play, because I like to take a walk at the end of the day, and that's my playtime, but I'm getting exercise too. So play is any activity that brings you joy. Is it going down to, you know, the skilled nursing home and playing bingo with the folks? I don't know. So think about this. If you're out to win, to advance your cause, to achieve more, even if it's fun to do, that's not play. That goes back in the work category. So for play, we want what brings you joy purely in the doing. It's purely for the doing of it. One thing I like to do in play is Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. I don't watch much TV, but I love to watch young Sheldon. I love how they meld his life in the 80s with today. So play. Make sure your tank is full. Now, the 4th is love. Love and relationships. How's your tank here? And here we want it tip-top. Here we want it overflowing. You know, and love can come to us in a wide range of types and experiences. It could be affection. It could be love of and for our communities. Of course, there's physical love, and we have mental love. And I want to remind us that loving selves is the first step. So, you know, we may have an array of partners, I'll call them. And from that, I mean our parents, our friends, our children's colleagues, our lovers, anyone, those people in our lives. And we want to think about, how does the love flow freely? Is it unconditional? That's what we want. Now, there's a spot in here for writing copy and marketing materials, and that comes from our business venture, but I left it in here because I'm a person who likes to write notes. I love to send a thank you note, send a little love. How are you doing? Either whether it's an email or actual snail mail note. And that's why I kept the marketing and writing copy in here. When we talk about filling our love tank and to overflowing, I want to make sure that that's one way that we can keep the flow going. Let's talk about spiritual. And I mentioned this just briefly. So we should include a spiritual piece in our lifestyle here in our chapter. And for you, perhaps that's your religion. For some of you, it may be meditation or simple thinking. And here's one that I practice. I practice gratitude. So every morning I have a routine, and if you'd like to hear about my routine in full, just send me a note, give me a text or an email, and I'll send you my routine. But part of it includes gratitude. And I write in what I call a gratitude journal, just jotting down things that I'm thankful for today. Do this at the end of the day too, when I'm writing out my action list for tomorrow. But again, gratitude. If we're seeing ourselves stuck, or if we're in a funk, if we kind of are feeling bad for ourselves, it doesn't take me long to think about what I'm grateful for and jot a few notes down. So moving over to, but before we get to financial number 6, I still did include a support team in our Encore adventure. And your support team can include a number of people, right? See, we want to have people around us that we not only help, but perhaps help us. We can bounce ideas off of them. But think about these kinds of support teams, especially if you have that little cash machine or that big business that you're doing. Find a coach, and that's kind of what we're doing here. So congratulations on that. Find a mastermind group, and I host a number of these, both in my Find Your Encore business and in my Big Bunny Business Blueprint group. So a mastermind group can help you work through some ideas. It keeps you on task, and it's fun to work with others. Have a support team of volunteers, people who just like to do things for you and your cause. Or outsource tasks to other, like again, we talked about housekeeping. Have someone wash your vehicles for you, and so on. So building a support team around you is still important in our Encore adventure, just as important as when we're doing this for a business venture. Oh, time mastery. So what I'd like to do here, I mentioned briefly that I have a morning routine that I do, and I have an evening routine. And part of my evening routine is writing down 6 things I want to get done tomorrow. Not 16, not 26, just 6. And next day, I start on the first one and I work on that one until it's done. Of course, we get interrupted, but I always go back to that first one. So for example, this morning, my number 1 was creating this video to go along with our Encore Adventure map. Now there's more on this, and you can see the link in your electronic copy of the Encore Adventure transcript. And what I've given you there is a bonus, 3 truths most people avoid that keep them overwhelmed, underpaid, and working day and night. And the 3 truths are really going to help you. I guarantee if you just even put one of them in place, you're really going to start to see the light. We'll talk about there also compressing our work. There's a certain law that says work expands to fill the time that you allow it. So in the report, I'm going to show you how to contain work and let your personal celebrations creep in on your work and not the other way around. There's also a section on Pareto's law, which is the 80-20 rule, where we want to focus on the 20% of things that give us the 80% of our results. So again, go grab that report and start down that path as well for your time mastery. So important. And then again, number 7 is team and mentorship. And I list this again a little bit different than your support team. So number 7, what I'm talking about there is building a team around your adventure itself. So for example, if you're starting a dog walking, a little cash machine, can you find a mentor? Can you find someone who's already done this and have them give you the ins and outs of it? And can you do that if you see someone creating a dog walking business? Can you mentor them? And I'll stop right there, and don't be concerned that, oh, someone else is doing that thing. There's abundance in this world. There is so much room for everyone to do what they love. Now, also put that team around you. So the specific team members that can assist you with getting your Encore adventure rolling. If your Encore adventure includes travel, so maybe that's your travel agent, your AAA agent, right? So get that team around you and you'll go from there. Finally, I want to talk about keeping yourself sharp. in your Encore adventure, whatever that's going to be for you. So continue tuning in with us at findyourencore.com on our blog. I'm always posting very good, wonderful, useful tidbits that can help you along your way. Don't forget to take vacations. You know, when I was in the corporate world, it astounded me, and I guess I was guilty of it too, for not using vacation days. I would save them and save them. And it came, I think, from a time when I first started my career, and I saved vacation days in case the kids were sick or something like that, because you know, we had to take vacation days at that time. The work world is getting a lot kinder for that. So I would save all these vacation days, and man, did I get burnt. The company finally said one year, you're not going to pass along or, you know, carry over more than, you know, 1 week of vacation. I had all this vacation sitting, and I kind of just used it up, and don't do that. So take vacations. Maybe they're just, and I shouldn't say just, perhaps it's a long weekend. Perhaps it's a day in the middle of the week that you just go off and do a fun experience, a fun adventure. Also, celebrate all your victories, all your small victories. Celebrate today that you've stayed on this call at this point, you know, this long and listened in, and you're even working on your adventure. So celebrate all those victories. Celebrate them with me. Celebrate them with our Facebook group, with your team, with your support team, and see those buckets overflowing. Exercise, right? So it's hard when we say, I don't have time, because guess what? You have all the time in the world. You get all the time that there is. So what you want to do is plan it in. My husband is so great. He gets up early in the morning and does his stretching and exercise faithfully. I'm so proud of him for doing that. I do my exercises. I mentioned I have that little beeper on my phone that says, oh, it's time to play. Eating well. There's many, oh my gosh, billions of dollars in this field, isn't there, about eating well. So I am not going to give you any specifics there, but on some of our Encore calls that are coming up, I'm going to have a couple different experts in to talk to us about eating well. Certainly, everyone's physiological body is different and wants a different course of nutrition. So I'm hoping that you find yours. I talked about meditating. Meditating is so important, even if it's just a few seconds breathing and thinking. That could be your meditation. It doesn't have to be a full-blown hour sitting cross-legged on the floor. If that works for you, I love it. But I want to talk to you about breathing. So don't forget to breathe deeply. Take time, and maybe you can even set a little reminder, you know, if you're wearing one of these every hour, to get up and breathe. So how we breathe is we breathe in, hold it, and then breathe out for 10 seconds. Let's do it together now. So breathing in for several seconds through your nose. Hold it. And let it release. Hold it and release. I feel so much calmer and so much better just after that short breathing exercise. Don't forget to work on your inner game. We all have read and heard all the experts talking about living from the inside out. That's because we know when we have thoughts, whatever we let in is going to go into our heart, into our subconscious, and our actions come from there. More on this later, but Again, guard your thoughts, work on that inner game, love yourself, love others, give yourself those affirmations. I am on my exciting Encore adventure and I just love it. Write in the gratitude journal that I talked about. Head over to my findyourencore.com blog to get some more personal growth reading and audio that can fill your day. Maybe stop watching the news. You know what? You're going to hear the important things. You really are. Presidential election coming up here next year. You're going to hear about what you need. Follow the truths in the Time report, and I guarantee if you just do one of them faithfully, you're going to see the light. So we talked a lot today about finding your Encore adventure. So go back through your paper report, through all of these steps, and write down lots of ideas that you have. And then join us back here again when we start up our group coaching. More on that on the website. So while we're doing that, please reach out to me with any questions, concerns, ideas, needs for the cash machine list, for the truths, because you're a superstar. And remember, we want to, in our Encore adventure, earn more, work less, and celebrate often. So thanks again for joining me here today. I'm going to look forward to seeing you on a very new adventure. Thank you.